Bordeaux? Here. Hale?
Here.
Halpern? Here. Kessler? Here. Candela? Here. Walker? Gaffney?
Here. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we are going to open up the floor for public comments in just a moment. We're going to do that after our presentations. I'm going to turn over the floor to Superintendent.
Thank you. We are opening this board meeting with two very exciting recognitions. One is for the student. To stand next. I would like to turn over to the honors of introducing this very special student who was honored by the Olympic team. And so he representing not only his family and their school and our community this term, but we would like to take a special moment to recognize him. So Mr. Williver.
Is there a microphone? That's okay. I'm sure you can hear me. Oh, now you're going. Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you. Good evening. It always gives me great pleasure to recognize students, and we're very fortunate at West Oak that we have students who are very exceptional academically, musically, athletically, getting involved in their church, their communities, etc. We have Angelos Koutsougiris, who is an 8th grade student, and he's a wonderful young man here at West Oak. He does well academically. He is musically talented, and he's also very special in the arena of water polo. Every time, I think once a year or so, I have to ask him about the versus don't drown. You know, that dumb joke with water polo. But Angelos is a special young man. And this year, past December, Angelos participated in the United States Water Polo Olympic Development Program, and it was held at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. So I think it's an amazing feat. It's an amazing opportunity to represent your country. And if I'm correct, Angelos, are you a dual citizen? So you could do both. But Angelos doesn't let it get to him or anything like that. He's just proud to go. And it's what an opportunity to write a letter that a student went to an Olympic training facility. That's phenomenal. So Angelos Koutsougiris, I'm going to ask you to come up and be recognized, and we'd like to say congratulations on such special recognition. Yeah. Congratulations.
I'm going to say congratulations, Angelos Koutsougiris. I couldn't say it clear, but nice job. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Mr. Pravel, who has 4 outstanding staff members that he would like to take a moment to recognize for doing things above and beyond at Diamond Lake School for our families, and also representing the district at Shining Light Academy.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Let's get up over the hardware. Tonight I have nominated Lee Stoma, Lizzie Duffy, Kathy Addison, and Julie Marquez for the Diamond Lake School, Diamond Lake School District 76 Diamond Award. As Dr. Sharma Lewis said, the Diamond Award is given to staff for going above and beyond to show excellence and professionalism. And these 4 Diamond Lake staff members did exactly that. These 4 individuals came together to address the needs of a student in distress from a domestic situation. The situation was not reported by an adult or the individual student at the time. Without the keen observation of other student comments, observing the student's behavior, condition, and following through on next steps, the student could have been placed in further danger. The care and support of these 4 ladies showed help provide immediate first aid care, emotional support on and off campus, and provide a long-term safe environment for the student. This was a very long day for those involved in this event, and not one of these 4 ladies gave it a second thought. When it comes to the safety of our students, this was one of the days that we wish didn't happen. Unfortunately, these things do happen, but the care, support, and attention that all 4 of these Diamond Lake staff members displayed helps show us, and most importantly the student involved, that there are brighter days. And their students' well-being is at the forefront of everything that we do at District 76. Please congratulate Denise, Lizzie, Kathy, and Julie for their outstanding acts of caring and support that help the student feel safe, loved, and stop the dangerous situation from happening again. Please come on up and congratulate them.
That's what you tried. That's what you tried.
No, I was just trying to. Yeah.
Yes, here's that. Boss, you
Oh, so. You look so good. Can I ask one favor?
Absolutely.
Right up here when you have it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. And Kurt, maybe you want to stay.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Maybe stay behind him.
Yeah.
I should remember to look. We still don't, okay, it's done, it's done. Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right, so next up. Okay, Mr. Henson to the presentation, and I just want to thank all the ones that are here for our staff who are, well, you are welcome to stay, but you're more welcome to go. But thank you again for coming, and family members, you should be very proud of all 4 of our staff members that are here, your moms, your wives, and your loved ones. We are all proud of you, so thanks for coming. Okay, welcome to stay, where you go.
Thank you, thanks.
On our board agenda tonight, we have 3 presentations. We're going to go over 2 of them in full length tonight, and then our assessment updates. Mr. Rock is going to provide a brief overview and then give a more detailed presentation for the sake of time at the February 6th meeting. So we're going to give you our mid-year update as well as our facility update during the presentation section. So the mid-year district goals update, every year the board and the district leadership team adopt a set of goals and priorities at the district outlines as far as what are going to be the action plan of 5 areas that we're focusing on.
This has come in collaboration with our teachers as well as our administrative team, and we present it to the board in August of every year, and then they approve our goals and priorities in September. This is the third year that we've been doing it, and we stay maintain our 5 areas of focus, which is academic excellence, professional excellence, operational excellence, financial excellence, as well as excellence in communication. So this is a great time because we're halfway through the year and starting to lead, and we're going to give you a little update on where we are with our progress. And again, I want to stress, and just put it up here so I can choose to carry that far. I want to stress that this is done in collaboration with the Professional Advisory Council as well as our district leadership team. And the Professional Advisory Council is 3 teacher leaders from each of our buildings that meet 4 times a year and twice during the summer to provide leadership in each of these areas. And then they go back to their teams and in a collaborative environment and share feedback. So it's a nice 2-way dialogue for staff to say what's going well and what we need to work on, and then we can put these plans into action. So our first area is academic excellence, and you can see here we have 3 expectations in the area. Created District 76 teaching and learning framework for the following programs. Last year we focused on English language arts, and this year this is a pretty lofty goal, which is focusing on the areas of mathematics, instructional technology, social emotional learning, and the dual language program. So currently, thus far, each of those 4 areas have developed their framework. They're being completed at each grade level, and when we have late start times, or we have staff that are being pulled out on a monthly basis to work on this, these are what they're working on. They're working on units of study and coming up with outcomes of what we want kids to know, and the assessments to know how they learn. How we're going to strengthen our instructional practices, that's expectation number 2, is developing student learning objectives. So it's what we want each student to know by each of the learning frameworks. We've established it kindergarten through 8th grade in math, working on that in instructional technology, and we'll be rolling it out to staff the second part of this year. We've also established it with our social emotional learning standards, and the dual language program is currently being reviewed and is in progress with the leadership of Ms. June and Mr. Draka. And I also want to share here that we have each administrator, Mr. Draka's overseeing the mathematics department, instructional technologies, Mr. Hansen, Dr. Fredericks is overseeing the social emotional learning, and then, like I said earlier, Ms. June and Mr. Draka are overseeing dual language, and these are all done in collaboration with teachers and committees. First year that we're able to analyze student assessment data, we can use an online assessment tool, online analysis tool called Alpine. So we've had some ongoing professional development. We started out this year with teachers and principals learning how to use the Alpine data. We've loaded all of our data into the Alpine system. Principals meet with their professional learning teams, which is by grade level and by department, to look at that data. And then again, it's ongoing process, but we're hoping that that is going to get more robust as time goes on, and that teachers are going to be using it more for instructional decisions as we develop and become more familiar with it. Yes.
So the other areas that we identified have a target completion of summer 2018, with the exception of the language program for either of the teaching framework themselves. What student language, what do you think is the time for the dual language?
The challenge with the dual language program is that dual language isn't just in isolation, it's with social studies and also science and potentially mathematics. That's what's causing a little bit of a slowdown, whereas the other content areas are singularly focused. Dual language is covering multiple content areas, and because it's cross-curricular, that's the delay. So my hope is that we can begin to really develop a general roadmap for each grade level, and then begin the development of learning frameworks towards the beginning part of next year and throughout the year. It's really going to be a pretty lengthy ongoing process because it's all of those different content areas that go into it.
Social studies is one you would imagine we would want to target next year. Are you
Right.
advocating for that?
Yep, and so in the curriculum cycle, social studies and science are coming up next year. So math, because it's more technical than say ELA took us a while. It was challenging. Math becomes a little bit more a curricular roadmap because it's more technical. And then social studies and science, because we were able to complete math more quickly, we were able to dig into social studies and science, do some preliminary work this year, and our teams to help make that progress more rapid next year. So, you know, in the 4 years, you know, next year being completion of our 4th year together as a leadership team, my hope is to have nearly all of the core frameworks developed. And then obviously through that process, there's revisions.
Are you looking at it K through 8? Are you looking at it K through 5, K through 6? Or are you adding?
Well, right now, I'm working with the dual language team as its entirety from K through 5 to develop first the social studies, there should be the Spanish language arts roadmaps to get just a basic outline of what it is that we're teaching in Spanish language arts. Beyond that, we will add social studies and science into that K through 5 framework. We started 6th grade with Spanish social studies, and so we will continue to grow that through geography, and then the beginning portion of U.S. history for next year. We're relying on Mrs. Enriquez to work with us closely in that. We're to have that dual language social studies completed over the next 3 years. Middle school, and that's kind of a general time frame for those areas. I can't give you an absolute definitive time and date just because of the nature of the work, and sometimes it can be very, very challenging determining all that goes into developing, you know, a curricular roadmap for the Spanish language.
Sure. And so, I know you said 6th grade looking at Spanish social studies, but are you looking also at the Spanish language arts, even though it's handled so much differently?
Yeah, so, you know, our team this year is Mary Lou and Allison, and so we have given them some curricular development days to help them refine what it is they have been doing in the past, because there has been some question marks related to what is a Spanish 1 class that is for students just learning Spanish, and then carrying that Spanish lit class forward. So there's some, I would say, review and revision of that, not necessarily complete rewrite.
So our second area is professional excellence. And I think this is the area that we've made a lot of progress in, especially with leadership, teacher leadership, developing department as well as grade level teacher leaders in each of our areas. For each of our grade level and department teacher leaders, they are have been working with not only Mr. Draga and the instructional leadership team, but also with each of your principals on how to lead meetings, create agendas, facilitate those meetings, look at data, and help support their teams, and then come back and share with their principals how they need more support and what resources in order to get stronger instructionally as well as a team. So it's really nice to have that partnership with the leadership level. What we develop leadership among all staff. In the professional value, in the teacher evaluation and in goal area, excuse me, in domain 4, there is a professional component where the leadership is developed, and each one of our teachers this year has developed a personal and professional leadership goal of how they want to expand that leadership opportunity, whether it's something that professionally they're doing or personally they're doing, they develop that with their principals. So that's something that we're really proud of, and we're hoping that can continue to grow as we build leaders among our staff. And thirdly, implement a strategic professional learning plan. And I provided the link for you, but I'm not going to go through it right now. But as you can see, it's an extensive list of every professional learning opportunity that's available for our staff, how it ties into the teacher evaluation plan according to the Charlotte-Danielson framework, when we're having these opportunities, what are the outcomes, and how they're made available throughout the year and through the summer for our staff to implement. So it's a really nice way of having consistent, cohesive professional development throughout the year for all of our staff, and how it ties into their, not only their teacher evaluation plan, but their professional development plans for themselves and leadership goals.
As we talk about this, very supportive of creating leadership at multiple levels and fostering that kind of environment and that approach to how we work. As we look at everything that your team is working on in order to fill goal 1 and goal 2, how do you balance that, just making sure that teachers are not put out of the classroom excessively and that it doesn't hinder the learning experience?
I think that's been a struggle for us this year. And I think we talked about it when we developed our calendar, and I shared with all of you that we are going to increase the number of institute days next year. Not a lot, but we're going to have 2 more opportunities for staff to be pulled out when students are not in session, because this year we're pulling them out once a month. And not only do we have some shortage, but as we shared with you, there's also an interruption in the instructional dynamic or into instruction when you have a new teacher or a substitute in the classroom. So we're hoping that next year with a new calendar that teachers won't pull them through this kind of development, whether it's curriculum plus or professional development, that we're going to have utilizing the opportunities that we're going to have with the half-day institutes that will have 6 up, in addition to the late starts. We'll have something lessons. Goal area 3 is operational excellence. And this really came right from our teachers, which is exciting because they want to develop and maintain common professional learning time for all staff, which is nice because a lot of times people don't want to go, they don't want to get together, bless you. So our staff tell us they do want to enjoy this time, they find it valuable, and they want more opportunities to do this. So as we talked about, we developed a district calendar that includes monthly curriculum development. So the week starts in 2 days for next year, so we'll have an opportunity to meet with your team without leaving the classroom, without interrupting instruction. And then principals are going to work with their local leadership teams to develop stronger master schedules to allow more accountability time during the day. So maybe all the kids can be in sessions, and again, they have another 45 minutes during the day on a daily or weekly basis to look at their teams. Each district department will develop a cohesive and comprehensive set of operational protocols. Again, if you have some time on our website and also our internet, you're going to see a very extensive by department list of protocols, organizational structures, forms. Staff are able to use this and just go in there and you'll see curriculum outlines that teaching and learning is put together, the technology protocols, and instructional technology is put together, a lot of the forms financially that we have, just say course reimbursements or field trips. It's just a really nice way to keep things organized and for teachers to go and have a resource, and also for our community and our parents to see that we have a lot of departments, we have a lot of people overseeing them, really running in a very organized and efficient manner, and that it's transparent on our website. Our 4th goal is financial excellence, and a lot of this will be solidified tonight on the development of, or the action of reorganizing our buildings, because we are going to establish a 5-year district facility plan to prioritize and improve facility infrastructure and architectural needs to ensure safety, security, and compliance. So once the board makes this decision tonight, we'll be able to solidify a 5-year plan, starting with the summer of 2018 and going forward for summer 2019 projects that's related to the referendum. But then also we'll be able to develop a budget long term. Once these projects are done, we'll be needing to see over the next 5 years to keep our buildings in shape. Number 2, all financial decisions will align with our district goals that were outlined tonight and priorities to maintain focus on financial alignment, student growth and achievement. And Mr. Rogers does a really nice job working with each of the principals as well as the directors on a zero-based budget, looking at long-term district planning, making sure that all purchases align to our goals and prioritizing them according to need, and making sure that we have a balanced budget. And number 3, creating a community engagement process for district financial information and facility projects and provide monthly updates of district financial health and operations. We started this last spring with our facility updates with going out front, where we outlined all the projects, content pictures, and the finances of what we see. And in addition to that, we added dashboard metrics onto the financial section of our website, so you'll see a lot more information there, increased transparency for our community, where we are in our financial status. And our last goal area is excellence in communication. And we've made a lot of improvements in this area, and it's something that we're going to continue to work on. But expectations on communicate individual student progress to parents on a frequent and consistent basis. Really proud to say that pre-K through 8, that there is weekly and consistent student updates and progress being sent home by a grade level by department. It looks different, obviously, from kindergarten than it does going into the middle school, but we made it a priority, and the teachers are really supporting the fact that we want to communicate with our families on a regular basis of how students are doing and how we continue to support them in the homeschool connection. Number 2, update school and district electronic communication with timely and relevant information for all of our stakeholders. Hopefully you've seen and heard some increased diverse electronic communications with district information. We've got our website that continues to be updated on a daily basis, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Blackboard Connect. And our Blackboard Connect, that's where we get our emails, our texts, and our voice messages, sharing information about school events, district events, or any updates that we have coming out, and getting a lot of positive feedback from community members as well as with staff about being informed and being in the loop of what's going on. And then our third area, increased family and staff engagement and participation at school and district events. This is our first year that we're collecting baseline data on attendance at some of these activities, so it'll be nice to see them grow as the years go on, at some of our school nights, parent teacher conferences, various school and district activities. So again, this has been an ongoing goal for 3 years, but we're hoping now that we're collecting data with the metrics to do that we'll be able to see increasing participation and attendance, and the communication that we're using is definitely helping. Conclusion, these are our goals that we're going to continue to work on for the rest of the school year. We've got about 5 more months to continue on with it. And if you remember from last year, we said, how are we doing in 2 goal areas? Is this area that is going to continue? Have we met it? We met the target? We set a new goal. So we'll be working with the Professional Advisory Council as well as the DLT later this spring to determine our progress. And we're going to be doing that by department. This really allows us to focus and stay focused on the path of the 5 areas that we need to continue to focus on as well as for our action plans. It gives the departments and our schools and our grade levels a roadmap of where we're going and how we're getting there, and also gives staff and the community information of what we're working on this year and making sure that we're aligned with these areas. I like the fact too that we have measurable outcomes, that we have concrete outcomes in our roadmaps, our frameworks are done, we have a 5-year facility plan, we have attendance at events, that a lot of the outcomes that we have in rural areas that we are able to give you concrete evidence that either it's working or growing or that it's an area that we need to continue to focus on. And one of the things that we do as a district leadership team and then on a weekly basis is reflect and communicate how are things going. We have weekly meetings with committees, not the same committees, but it's nice to have that dialogue of what's working really well, what do we need to continue to work on to make more timely things. And I think that's just a way for us to continue to grow and improve. So that's where we are as a mid-year update, and we're looking forward to sharing the final outcomes with you in June. And before we go into the facilities update part, I'm just going to ask Mr. Director to give a quick summary, if you would. In your package, you're going to see the winter assessment update. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to go over that in detail at the February 6th meeting. But for the sake of time, Mr. Director, want to give a quick overview of the board is going to be seen next month.
Sure. As you can see in your board packet, the assessment overview covers park data, both from the grades 3, 5, and 8 benchmark years in the LA math. It covers the demographic breakdown of our park data. And then I move into talking about, now that we have 3 years of math data, you get to see the progression of a student for the last 3 years. In addition to that, then I added some of our access data, which I think is important because it kind of covers the fact that we have so many students coming in as EL learners, but then through the years progressing out of the EL program. I added in there a slide about the new accountability measures. And then really it's just beyond our strengths and our challenges, just to talk real briefly about that we're continuing our focus on curriculum and assessment development. We are continuing to use our data to inform instruction. We're continuing to grow and develop our professional learning communities and our teams. We're strengthening the RTI process, and we're seeking to strengthen and align our dual language program.
Thank you. It's me again. So for the benefit of our audience, I'd just like to give a quick overview before we go into the presentation that we did back in December. For the past 5 months, we as a board, as a district leadership team, have been looking at our facilities and the money that we received from our referendum, which is $11.4 million. And then when our architects and our construction management team this summer went through and itemized the priorities of all the improvements that needed to be done, we realized that the money was not going to go very far with the 3 buildings that we have and the amount of improvements that we needed. So we came to the board in September and proposed the idea of reorganizing our 3 buildings into just 2 buildings, but running it as a 3-school model. And I'll go into that in a little bit when we get into the presentation. And the board was intrigued with the idea and asked us to go back during the months of October and November and come up with the feasibility and the research behind it. And is it possible for us to actually, one, fit the students and staff into 2 buildings? And then what is that going to look like? Do we have enough money, and is it our facilities and our property able to hold the traffic, to hold students, and to hold the programs that we have? And so instead of taking that $11.4 million and spreading it out to 3 buildings, it would be more cost effective and efficient, and it would benefit the most students and staff if we did it over 2 buildings. So we presented them in November with, yes, we can do this, and they asked us again to go back with some other additional questions. So as a recap, I'm going to share with you what we presented to the board in December, because at the end of that meeting, we've asked them to make a decision tonight on formalizing the reorganization of 3 buildings into 2 buildings, and then still follow the 3-school concept. So, as a follow-up to our work from September through November, the board asked us for these 5 areas of questions. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it on my screen over here, but what is the future of Fairhaven? What about the traffic? How about the recess and playground equipment? Do we have the capacity for lunch? And then the staff placement. So those were the 5 areas that were of the most importance. And I'm going to ask Mr. Rogers if there's anything that I leave out, please jump in at any time. So there was 3 options for Fairhaven. It was either to sell as is, mothball it, or demolish it. And as you can see next to each of those options, the village was not interested at the time, and is still not interested at the time to purchase Fairhaven. And during some additional research that Mr. Rogers has done with the village, Fairhaven is on floodplain, so it's not a buildable piece of property at this point. And somebody, and so even if they sold it, somebody would buy the land and would be able to do anything with it. So the monopole piece.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just to touch base with yes, the village Department of Development, they basically classify roughly 25% of it is a floodway, which is unbuildable, and then the rest of it, about 65% is on floodplain, which we're able to build some of it, but it's not all that attractive to developers. So that's the main problem. So I've reached out to several developers to get their interest. It's currently zoned as property basically for educational or church purposes, but they can always rezone it for residential. So there are some developers that are interested in exploring some of those options just by the fact that it's in the residential neighborhood already, but it's still its early phases. So I just want to share about the floodway is the biggest problem for developers right now.
So working with our construction partners and our architect, they recommended option 3, which is to demolish and abate it, which is at a cost of approximately $350,000. That was the recommended option to do it. Otherwise, if we want all of these, still have utilities and the insurance and site maintenance costs, which is about $30,000 annually. The second area was the traffic patterns. Do we have the traffic patterns for the bus routes, the parent pickup and drop off, and the parking plans for the additional staff at both schools? And the answer is yes to both of them, and we have plans in draft form right now. Really for West Oak, it would just be repaving maybe the blacktop and repainting lines, because there is ample parking for staff. And since we are going to be running this as 2 schools, it would be a 3rd through 5th grade building, and that would run at a separate time, and then it would be a 6th through 8th grade middle school that would run at a separate time. We wouldn't have congestion with buses.
And just to say it out loud, the district office would also be run on this campus.
Correct. There's enough room for the district office to stay on this campus. As somebody may know that we had purchased some new playground equipment, recess equipment with grant dollars at Fairhaven. So we're able to still maintain that and we just moved the Fairhaven playground equipment to Diamond Lake and then purchase the additional equipment at approximately $100,000 to build a complete new current playground for Fairhaven, as well as purchase new playground equipment and design new areas for the 3rd to 5th grade that would be the West Oak campus. And the cost of that would be around $100,000 too. So we would make this room, make the area age appropriate and develop the appropriate equipment for 3rd to 5th grade, even though right now there isn't any playground equipment on site. And then our lunch programs, there is enough room to run 2 lunch programs here, and we talked about this, the room that we're sitting in right now, and turning this into a multi-purpose room cafeteria for the 3rd to 5th graders, so that the 6th and 8th graders would have a separate cafeteria. We were exploring options to partner with a new lunch provider, food provider, and that's Quest. We would partner with them there in the areas of Ludlow High School as well as Fremont. And so they have complete kitchens on site, and so then we have refresher options, providing food here. We would just need more updated equipment to warm the food provided here. And definitely there's ample space for kindergarten through 2nd grade to have lunch. And then we did the exercise physically of placing every single staff member that we have right now in the rooms of West Oak and Diamond Lake and maintaining the district office here. And there is ample room. We have to do things a little differently. Maybe having office suites for our resource staff and then just having multi-purpose spaces, as opposed to right now, a lot of our special ed resource staff, our English language learning staff, and our interventionists have their own classrooms. So they're servicing, small groups in large classrooms. We'll still be able to do that in small groups, but there might be some shared spaces. As well as we're going to be our library media spaces very differently and have workout areas. So a lot of small group work can be done there as well.
It's good to point out too that we've had enrollment studies that are taking place and enrollment's not expected to go up in the near future.
And so as we look at our projects, summer 2018 would be our phase one, and we've identified the projects at Diamond Lake and at West Oak. So if we're just looking forward tonight that we will be renovating all the student and staff toilet rooms at Diamond Lake. We renovated the large gym and mechanical upgrades, the rooftop air partial replacement, replacing boilers, and then determine the air conditioning solution for this remaining classrooms that don't have cooling systems. At West Oak, we would renovate the remaining student and staff toilet rooms. We would upgrade the remaining corridors to match the ones that you walked into here. So that's the paint, flooring, and signage that we did last summer in this small area. And then we would replace the small gym floor, which we're in right now. We make it more multi-purpose room, as I mentioned earlier, for the third, fourth, and fifth grade cafeteria. And we would also add lighting and put a sign outside that you see and the flagpole. And then whatever we get done for in the summer 2018, what we'll have left over with the remaining that March, we'll renovate the library areas, reconfigure the classrooms, do some of the kitchen upgrades that we talked about, and cafeterias, fire alarm, the PA systems, site improvements for buses and parking, playground equipment, do the Diamond Lake quarters with the painting and the signage and the lighting, as well as mechanical improvements, and then any other remaining miscellaneous items that we're going to identify in that 5-year plan. So next steps. Again, this is a recap of our December board meeting. So tonight we're asking the board to reconfigure to a 2-campus model, but maintain the 3 school concepts. So it would be pre-K through 2 at Diamond Lake, 3rd through 5th would be at West Oak Intermediate, and 6th through 8th would be West Oak Middle, running as 2 separate schools, but on one campus. Then also determine to close Fairhaven School, but finalize plans for building in the adjacent property at a later date. We do not need to finalize that right now. And then that way, that would give the construction team as well as the district leadership team the ability to finalize action plans for what really needs to get done, create a budget, communication out for the community and staff, and then prepare the documents so that we get best prices for the work to be done this summer. And then once we have that identified, then in February, March, we'll be bringing you the documents to approve for the summer 2018 projects.
We also have any actions on there.
Right. So this is an opportunity for the board to ask any questions, and then maybe taking action later tonight. And I know we moved public comments to this portion of the meeting.
So we'll do 12 more any comments and questions.
Just one. Apologies for the presence of the fire alarm cases since 2019. Is that?
What sort of upgrade
I
those?
mean, that's not a safety issue, is it? That's fire alarms cases.
No, the fire alarm doesn't pretty large expense. We're not updated right now. We can use a couple of upgrades, like for instance, the horns and strobes that are on the wall. They have an audible version of it now, where it'll speak to you for some EDA compliance. It's nothing that we're required to do now. If we were doing a new building, if we were a new addition, we'd be required to put in a new system. It's mostly just a recommendation, something that we can upgrade. It's not necessary at this point.
Eric, with the projections, home projections, what are those based on? How was that determined that it's not projected to increase? Are there any wild cards that would change that projections or build the property in the district that could cause an influx by 10 years?
So, our previous architect, Fannie Howard, had, pronounce it wrong, Casada enrollment projections. It was done in the 2014-2015 school year. So they did, I believe it was a 20-year enrollment projection. It was a pretty long one. And they, it was before I was here, but I believe it's one of the more well-known enrollment projection systems out there or studies out there. But outside of it, we're pretty landlocked. There's not a whole lot of development opportunities that we have inside our districts. There's several, part of the TIF district, there's some development opportunities kind of by the village and by Farian, but only roughly a fourth of the condo complex that we're talking about would impact our enrollment. So there's not a lot of opportunities for expansion in our district. We had a couple down by the lake. They had that one condo complex put up, it was only 20, 30 units, so it's pretty small. So no, we don't think the enrollments are going to be able to stray too far from what they originally projected. And they projected about flat in 20 years. So we can't see any real pitfalls based on our land capacity.
I'd like to point out if there is an increase in enrollment or we see a surge in increase, we also, with this plan, identify a space for every classroom. We do have 5 extra classrooms at that point. Well, so we're looking at ways to expand our preschool, whether that's tuition based or looking at rooms to run down with CO. But we have that option to available still.
About the TIF district. If we were to sell them on the line, we were to sell Fairhaven, that's the property we own that is within that underlying TIF district area, right?
Correct.
So even though we would continue to have families within that area, we would not be property owners per se, and we would no longer be a part of what the village considers their TIF district. Is that correct?
Correct. Last year, the board voted to not be part of the upcoming TIF. We have the TIF 1 and TIF 2 that are current. So we voted not to be part of TIF 2. But if we sell the land, any new acquisitions would be TIF eligible to developers. So that's one of the benefits that they have. Is, they do purchase supply of land that can still fit into the TIF.
If we go through that property, we would no longer be looked to for future TIF from Motherline Village.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions, board? Today, the board attendees are less than the meetings have been supportive of this, but the board is not supportive. That's why. Okay. At this time, I'm going to open up the floor for any public comments on our agenda items. Do we have any public comments today?
Can I ask a question? Sure. What is the plan for traffic? Because I imagine it's less so having more students that would have more balance on students. Especially in the morning, and we're doing 2 different times. In the morning and afternoon.
So right now, I mean, we will definitely look into that, but we're not foreseeing that because it's going to be the same time set. Like, let's just say Denver is running right now, so it's 7:30, 8:30, so it'll be half an hour between start times and dismissal times for each of the schools.
But then we're going to have 2 times in the morning where the people will be trying to do left turns into the.
Oh, I see what you're saying, so outside of school.
Yeah, I'm saying like outside, so it's not just the school that's going to be impacted, the community is going to be impacted as well. So that's my curious, what's the plan for traffic to help ease this situation?
And we'll work with the village as well as with the police departments. And maybe we get, extra for the start of school and maybe towards the end of school or busier track times, we can ask for some assistance.
And then I guess the other question I had is, why are you proposing like a 2-campus model? What, so, because from a parent standpoint, having one time to drop off if you have multiple kids is advantageous.
I think for your first question, I think the traffic issue and having, 700 kids coming in at the same time, it's probably be a little bit more of a congestion issue than having 350 and 350. So, but we also wanted to do things that were a little more age appropriate and having 3rd graders not with 8th graders and running as 2 separate schools, so they have their own area for lunch, they have their own area for recreation, they have their own instructional area. And then 6th to 8th graders have more of middle school now to follow to help prepare them more for high school and beyond.
Does the city of Village of Lebanon intend to incentivize district at all? Like, they want to support this with civic money or revenue money? As a way of kind of running the city. Versus specific right now.
Yeah, there's really been no incentive from the city to, I guess, consolidate our buildings. It's really, I guess, more to do with consolidating the resources that we have, with limited amount of referendum money. They've also been too great to get generated where we do the next 10 or 15 years. So it's really more to do with our finances than.
Well, and also we have been looking at options that for a number of years now, including the cost of maintaining your unit over time and just keeping it up to snuff. Was going to be a lot of money, whether we have the referendum opportunity or not. So that's been the question we've been dealing with. The referendum started to make some decisions of where we choose to spend money. But then we also had the flood this last summer, which was an example of what we could be dealing with periodically. So that is also new information for us.
Is there any remark for the money that the district would be taking conservatively? I mean, obviously it's fluctuating. Is there any idea of what that would be?
Yeah, I think our main plan right now is, again, we can still talk to developers on what their potential revenue would bring in, but there's plenty of projects outside the referendum money we're still would like to do. We're not going to do everything, the $11.4 million. So the first thing we do is finishing up several of those projects, making sure we address some of our mechanical needs. Anything else we'll let them put a fund balance to.
But it is based on the rules of the referendum. Those funds are only to be used for capital improvement type of things. So there's already that definition, that limitation. It would help us go farther into our wish list and our priority list than we would otherwise. So.
I was wondering, I worked at middle school for 16 years. Middle schools are losing the space. Middle schools are using this as like a gym or
You can have the small gym, if I may. The majority of the use of the small gym is in the fifth grade right now. It becomes an indoor resource area, recess area for several grades. Actually, running it as two independent schools would get better use of the facility. It would allow us to utilize this space much more efficiently with physical education and lunchroom services. The middle school kids, the majority of their time in this end of the building, if you will, would be sixth grade academics and 2 exploratory classes of music and STEM DNA. So the majority of the middle school with facility usage is going to be that end of the building anyway.
I was just thinking of using this space.
Yeah, and that's a fair question, and one we looked at, and this would really be more than a gymnasium, this would be a public one.
I think it's clear for me when you talk about you're going to have 2 schools here, and you have, 3 through 5 in the 6th grade. So these people are thinking about the 3rd grader. Fourth grade now, but if you learn from the tablets, coming here with 8th graders. So is it really separate that the kids are not going to be interacting and they're one at separate schools, they're not going to be involved in the same programs, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, yes, and if either one of the principals wants to comment, you're welcome to, but we are I'm just thinking about scheduling. So we're starting at 8 o'clock here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. They're going to run this completely separate. There's no reason for them to go there. They're going to have their own set of bathrooms, their own cafeteria, their own gym, their own entrance and exit area. Their playground area is going to be over here. There's no reason for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to come to this area. A lot of what Mr. Mullenberg just alluded to, that this area is just used for 5th grade right now. And this is the 6th grade hallway. So we'll just have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade over there. Now, we may have a shared library media center, but again, we'll have breakout rooms, and that'll be, again, done in a scheduled format.
I think one of the things that concerns me, like you mentioned, bathrooms. I don't
Right.
mind 3rd graders in bathroom with 8th graders necessarily all the time.
I can appreciate it.
One of the things that when you look at the layout of the building, which for me was one of the coolest parts when this building was designed, accidentally, just for this reason, they put a quick separation line from this hallway over here, and everything the way we schedule with this converted center. As Dr. Trump was mentioned, the library media center, slightly different story, but it's all on the schedule. But those common places, and I would even call them unstructured places, are going to be totally separate from two schools.
And I think that this design of having an elementary and middle school in the same building is done around us. There are other places where we have this in the area as well.
And culture, probably, graders are interested in elementary kids. They're really not. They're interested in trying to be high school. And so, one of the pluses would be if you're able to use that to help strengthen role models and students of success and peer influence, but they're not interested in elementary school situations. They want to be the big kids on the block. But we laid it out, and we really look at it, as Dr. Shelby would have said, some shared locations, nurse, maybe a library media center, whatever you call it in the future. There may be a common passing area between here and there, but, 6, 7, and 8, 3, 4, 5, and we kind of have no ways now to the second.
And then there's 3 districts. Family, the rest of the family, the rest of the community.
We're in the process of discussing that right now. We're hoping that, we're not cutting administrators, we're maybe reorganizing them and using them in different capacities. But yes, that's what we're looking at right now, is whether it's 2 principals or 2 assistants, we're not sure yet, but.
Right now, when it comes to efficiencies, there are not many for the way we're looking at doing so. It's really coming more from backward and that building and facilities where we're going to find most leverage.
My district is a K-8 building, and the one is K-5, and we share similar ideas, hallways in the nursing office, and they're separate, usually member of the home. It is more financial.
All right. Can I ask a question about the cafeteria service? Are we looking at like kids with allergies right now? It's pretty much putting on much. So is that something that's being looked at when we're looking at?
We're looking at fresher, better options for all kids.
So just to that point, to that question, we have in the past, in part because of the way our buildings are currently equipped, we have, there are not many companies who provide food even want to bid on us, to bid on the contract. So some of the things we might be able to change here may give us more choices and more options. They've talked to one particular group that's doing things in the area that can provide more options, but hopefully we'll, over time, have more options ahead of us in that way. So, all right. Thank you. The next item up We're now entering our business agenda. This item is the approval for the omnibus vote agenda. Items on the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and are not controversial and will be approved by one motion. If anyone, board member, staff, administrator, or citizen wishes to have a separate vote on any other items, that other items will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Be it resolved that the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the omnibus vote agenda items A through E as listed. May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Hale,
Yes.
Candela,
Yes.
Bordeaux,
Yes.
Altman,
Yes.
Kessler, yes. Gafkin,
Yes.
So yes.
motion passes.
All right, the next item up has to do with the discussion we were just having about the reconfiguration of our schools in the two building model. For those of you who have been following our periodic board discussions regarding this issue, we know we have been studying the ways to make more efficient and effective use of our buildings for the educational and financial benefit of our students, our staff, our taxpayers, and our entire school community. We believe this is necessitated by continuing and ever-increasing internal and external pressures, including changes to our student demographics, decreases in educational funding, ever-evolving changes to our educational programming, necessary support for our staff and students, while also being considerate of our taxpayers. At this juncture, we believe the best solution to meet these needs is to consolidate our schools from 3 buildings to 2 buildings. It is our hope to make this happen by the start of the 2019-2020 school year, which should allow ample time for public awareness and administrative planning. This 2019 school reconfiguration plan generally contemplates the following. Number 1, the closing of Fairhaven School in the fall of 2019. We will determine at a later date whether it's best to sell on all or if necessary to demolish the building. Item number 2, reorganizing of Diamond Lake to a pre-K through 2nd grade building. Number 3, the reorganizing of Westo School to a 3rd to 8th grade building, which will henceforth be known as the West Over campus. Recognize we are painting in broad strokes in this early stages of the plan. However, more details will be forthcoming. In the meantime, while we're not required by law, we believe it would be in the best interest of all parties to be as transparent as possible regarding this plan. Consequently, I would like the board to entertain an initial motion to authorize your administration to continue its study and planning for implementation of this 2019 reconfiguration plan. This motion and future periodic public action by the board will keep the public informed and allow each board to make their thoughts and board members to make their thoughts and vote known throughout the process. Therefore, I would like to request a motion regarding this plan. Before we get a motion, is there any further comment, question on this topic? All right, we have a motion for acceptance of the reconfiguration plan.
Hellman,
Yes.
Bordeaux,
Yes.
Hale,
Yes.
Kessler, yes. Candela,
Yes.
Walker, yes.
Yes. All right, the next item up is the 18-19 school calendar. Be it resolved that Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the attached 2018-19 school year calendar. Comments or questions on this item? Your process to get to this included.
Yes, and working with staff, working with our distribution team, and this is our second reading, as I mentioned earlier, has once less staff out of classrooms because of our increase in the half-day institutes.
And we're also pleased because we are aligned with the
Organized
unorganized school and Stevenson as well as with Seattle. Okay. May I have a motion to approve?
Second. Hale,
Yes.
Kessler, yes. Bordeaux?
Yes.
Altman?
Yes.
Mandela?
Yes.
Walker? Gaffney?
Yes. The next item has to do with personnel items. There are three.
We there's the chart with the attachment there, packets, correct?
Okay, this item reads, be it resolved that Lake Services Board of Education accepts and approves the personnel items as depicted in the business agenda. This includes a district-wide district maintenance and facilities technician, a West Oak learning associate, a Fairhaven long-term sub as new hires, leaves of absence for a Fairhaven library media specialist, and Diamond Lake second grade full language. Comments or questions on this item? May we have a motion to approve? Second.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Hale?
Yes.
Altman?
Yes.
Kessler, yes. Mandela?
Yes.
Walker? Gaffney?
Yes. So that concludes our business agenda for tonight. Next item up is board discussion. As you all saw in your email, our Special Education District of Lake County, or CEDAL, has been in the search process for a new superintendent, and they have a person identified. The vote for that meeting is a special meeting January 25th. In addition to approving the new hire that the CEDAL Executive Committee is proposing, they also are going to do kind of a review of the CEDAL services, and they're encouraging any board members who want to come. It would be I plan to be there. I just wanted to encourage any of you to come this January 25th at 7 o'clock on the CEDAL campus. If you want to come, Daisy or Dr. Fredericks or Dr. Strike, and figure out which building is here.
I think the dean who's members.
I haven't heard, and other than the ones we discussed public, Fredericks, do you know any more? Have they heard any response that you're aware of? No. So the answer is yes. Okay, any other more discussion?
Thanks for two comments. One, I just want to give an update on the attended village tip meeting that was on last Monday, I believe. So really just provided an update on the two current tips that are ongoing, village one the line, and the most part it's not been a big update. They talked to several developers about some residential property, and they seem like they're progressing with some of the talks. It's always for residential for the most part, and it's still ongoing though. There's a couple commercial property that would be of interest to us. They're going to be doing a facelift of the downtown underlying area. It's a stretch from Holly to, I think, 176, or maybe the intersection right before I can do like a uniform facelift of all properties there. They're also planning to do a couple of commercial developments. We may be able to eventually take part in, but yeah, it's really just a update that it's showing with discussions and hasn't been too much progression since last week. And the other update was we just heard that we received our ISBE financial profile score. We got a 4.0 out of 4.0 this year. That was from our audited 2016-17 financial statements. So we're really happy that's our second year in a row we got a 4.0, and this is our 8th year in a row that we've received what they refer to as the recognition status. So it's between 3.5 and 4. So last year there was only 13 of 45 districts in Lake County that got that recognition. So I'm not entirely sure how many got it this year. It just got released last Friday. So yeah, we're really happy that we got that really high marks for our audited financial statements. It really just has to do with our fund balance to revenue ratio, our expenditure to revenue ratio, and kind of our short and long-term borrowing, which shows the balance. Much for that.
Well done. Good job, and it's not a small thing that the district has been able to do well during this last years, did you say?
That is our 8th year in a row.
8 years during a difficult financial time, so kudos to you and the people for us. All right, anything else that would fall under board discussion? Training, okay, board requests. There were the 2, they've been fulfilled, right, these 2. And there was one that showed in the hand today. The teacher.
But yeah, the first one, I was just thinking, I could not find anything. Parents Foundation for Education accepted their son with reimbursing requests to dozens of other districts. I was curious if you were thinking about, especially with the detail of the information they were requesting. I was happy to see you guys respond appropriately and say, we're not going to give home addresses, phone numbers, gender, I mean, all this stuff is, it's crazy.
I don't know anything about that foundation. All I know is their lawyers were very busy because they got requests from everybody they represent. So.
Okay, that takes us to notices and communications. I have one communication here from Dr. Long, who is the president of our teachers union. It's a note to the Board of Education as well as the administration, and it is thanking everybody for the holiday luncheon, and they had a very good time. Look forward to a seeing the rest of the school year. Any other notices and communications? At this time, we open up the floor again to our public for any comments on any items we want to discuss today. Or any additional comments. Any others? At this time, the board is going to return into the executive session for the purpose of employment compensation, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel of the district, including hearing testimony or complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel of the district. May we have a motion to return into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Gasser, yes. Candela?
Yes.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Hale?
Yes.
Hoffman?
Yes.
Walker? Yaffe?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Good to have you here.